I genuinely don't like to make these types of videos, but sometimes it is necessary to be transparent, to let you in on what I'm dealing with and to also get some feedback. Now, if you do want to watch a more fun, entertaining video, then by all means, select something else. But if you do want to learn a little bit about me and what I'm currently dealing with, then continue watching. Currently coming to you from a really familiar spot. Right back there is the Lackawanna Coal Mine Tour here at McDade Park. Now, I don't want to ramble too much, but I do want to cover a few key points here. Now, if you are new to my channel and aren't familiar with me or my background, I'm going to share a brief history background as to how I got started on this platform. Then I'm going to touch base about a problem that's really frustrating when it comes to YouTube and my channel itself. So, I have been on the platform since 2010. That is 15 years, going on 16 next year. Put out well over 1,000 videos and have been doing it full time since 2018. That would potentially make me a veteran on this platform. I've been doing it a long, long time. But without jumping ahead too far, when I first started putting out videos, it was never my intention to be a YouTuber. I just had a place to share videos of things I liked, mostly train stuff, things from Steamtown. Those videos started getting views, started growing in subscribers, and eventually grew to a decent number. Started putting more time and effort into my channel at that point. At some point, I became monetized, started making a few dollars on my channel, and that kept growing as well. It grew so much that in 2018, I decided to quit my job of 5 years, which was good, steady income, and to pursue YouTube full time. And that was a scary time because, well, YouTube is nothing guaranteed. So for the transition, I did rideshare, Lyft and Uber for about 6 months, and YouTube at the same time to kind of offset the gap of those steady paychecks coming in. After 6 months though, the channel was doing really well. I was able to be sustainable on just the YouTube income. Now, if you're not familiar, how do you get paid on YouTube? Basically, it's from the ads. A monetized channel has ads before the video and oftentimes during the middle of the video. So YouTube puts what are called pre-roll ads. I don't have any control over those, but what I do have control over is called mid-roll ads. That means during the video will stop momentarily for an ad. Now, YouTube will automatically place them, but they usually place them like every 2 to 5 minutes. If I didn't change it, you'd be watching an ad every 2 to 5 minutes. I wouldn't want to do that or watch that. I wouldn't make you watch it or do that. So I do space out my ads every 8 to 10 minutes for the most part during my videos. And that's how I earn a living. People click on the video, watch it, and when they watch those ads, I get a kickback from that. That's how I do earn a living on YouTube. Now, back in the olden days, and I say olden days, going a few years back, I did have Patreon where people can subscribe to be members and would get like early previews and sneak peeks at things, and things that weren't shared on my channel were often shared there. People donated a monthly thing, either just to have their name shouted out, like different tiers, or just to get early access to things. So I had that for a while. I used to do a lot of live streams. So I used to earn a lot of super chats. I did a live stream called Sunday Night Live during the pandemic, which was a lot of fun. But I used to get a lot of super chats and donations and the Patreon income. So that all combined, combined with the YouTube revenue, things were really good for a good amount of time. Well, then I started kind of losing myself a bit because as my channel was growing, well, the one thing I wanted to do was to make people happy. And I figured the best way to make people happy is to try to please everyone. And at the time, I thought that was a great idea, but little did I know it was probably a horrible idea. Some examples I could give you is that when I was doing a wider variety of content, I was doing food reviews, like both from restaurants, getting food subscription boxes. I was doing live streams all the time. Like I used to call them drive streams. We used to drive around and be live. I used to do a lot of like holiday houses, Christmas stores, Halloween stores like Spirit Halloween. I used to do a lot of other stuff on my channel. And I did it because people said, I'd like to see that. Please do that. It'd be something I want to watch. I'm like, okay, why not? Make the people happy. Well, it did make some people happy, but ultimately made me unhappy because it's not what I really wanted to do. I wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't dedicated to it. I was only doing it because I thought that's what people wanted me to do. And ultimately, it did affect my channel and me. I started not being who I was. I was faking enjoying it. I was pretending I actually liked it, even though I didn't. Now, I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun. The Sunday night live stream, I came up with on my own during the pandemic. I loved doing that, but I didn't want to do it forever, and it ran its course, and I ended that, and decided to make some other changes at that point. And I will say, ever since making those changes, I've been much happier. People have noticed, hey, you're much more genuine, you're more comfortable, you're more just energetic. You really seem to be enjoying what you're doing. And that's because I am. I do love what I do. I have hardly any complaints at all, even though today is kind of a complaint. What I'm getting to though is that you can't please everyone. I stopped trying 2 years ago, and I'm happy the way things are. Now, when it comes to my channel, I have a bit of variety. Now, I consider my channel like a tree trunk or a root. My channel is the root, and the branches coming off are different types of content, whether it be exploring, abandoned places, Google finds, e-bike reviews, rail trails, abandoned rails, so on and so forth, Knoebels videos. I have a variety of content, but for the most part, it all stems around adventures and exploring, with a few exceptions, like Knoebels, train rides, or some one-off events I've never filmed before. But for the most part, 99% of my videos are about adventures and exploring. Now, people have often said, you should just do abandoned explorations and nothing else, or you should just do Google finds. Yes, I could do that, but that would become stagnant. It would become stale. After a while, you see one, you see them all. It's hard to get excited after a while of showing something that's really similar to something else. So I do mix in content from time to time. I usually do like a summer schedule and a winter schedule, and that keeps things fresh, keeps people, not knowing what's coming out next, even though most times it is something they do want to watch. But things have kind of been trending downwards ever since this past winter. Now, this past winter, things were great, I will say. Things were at a high on my channel where almost every video I was putting out was getting phenomenal views, phenomenal feedback. Things were performing really well. It was like a well-oiled machine. And I was thinking, okay, I finally figured out this YouTube thing. I know what I'm doing now. It's working. Well, that was short-lived, so to speak. Fast forward into the spring, some of the videos started not doing so well, even though they had done well previously, those same types of videos. And I'm gonna place you guys on this gear here. Coming into the summer months, more and more videos were kind of underperforming, as I could say. Now, I never take for granted the views my videos get. I'm appreciative of anyone who does take the time to watch my videos. But obviously, I do make a living off my channel, and I do have bills to pay. Money's not everything, but it is part of it. The main thing behind it, though, is my passion. I've been doing what I do before YouTube's been a thing, and if I wasn't on YouTube, I'd still be doing what I do. Adventures, exploring, riding trails, finding things in the woods. I would be doing that regardless if I had a YouTube channel. Fortunate for you and for me is that you guys like what I do, and I make videos bringing you along for the adventure. So that's a win-win for both you and me. But when the views start going down and you start hitting a lull, it makes you wonder, are you doing something wrong? So you may have noticed, probably more often than not, that certain videos I do tweak the title and or thumbnail, mostly if it starts performing poorly from the get-go. And the way it works is when you put out a YouTube and you have what is called the YouTube Studio, it gives you like analysis, live analysis as to how your video is performing. It's a 1 through 10 scale, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. And it's in comparison to your other videos you've released recently in that same time span. So if a video in the first hour or so, or maybe 2 hours, is ranking 5 or above, I'll often tweak the title or thumbnail to try to get some more attention or traction. If it's performing between 1 and 5, I usually let it go because it's doing well already. But the numbers just aren't adding up. So when things started going that way, I put out some polls on both my YouTube channel community tab and my Facebook page, where I do have roughly 11,000 followers. I put out a poll asking what gets your attention to make you want to click on a video. Is it title, thumbnail, combination of both, the topic of video, or the person behind the video. And I believe the results for that were it's the person behind the video or the video itself. The title and thumbnail was actually least picked. But to me, I feel that's a really crucial element of a video, because if you don't have why do I hear someone or something? If you don't have something that's going to get people's attention, well, that's just game over at that point. It doesn't matter how good the video is. If you have a poor title and thumbnail, people aren't going to click on it unless you already have a huge subscriber count and people are there for you, not necessarily for the topic. Another poll I put out was, what types of videos do you enjoy watching the most? So as I said, I do have a variety of videos, but the variety is smaller than it used to be. But some of the choices I put out was like abandoned explorations, Google finds, rail trails, old abandoned railroads, so on and so forth. I put out a variety of content that I typically do film on my channel. And I got hundreds of responses, and most of the people, I'll say probably at least 60%, said abandoned explorations and Google finds. They said, we like those the most. We wish we could see them more on your channel. Well, that's great information. That's good feedback for me. So what do? I put out more of those videos. What happens? They don't get views. I'm not saying they don't get views like they used to, because I could tell you, and many of you probably already know, is that between, say, 2017, 2018, and up to maybe 2022, 23 at the most of my abandoned exploration videos, at the bare minimum, used to get like 50,000 views. Several have gone viral, over 100,000 views, or even over 1 million views. The Google Maps finds became extremely popular. Many of those videos became viral, easily topping 100,000 views. One or two have multiple millions of views. So it's not that people don't want to watch them, but for some reason people aren't watching them presently. Here's where things I think are conflicting and troublesome and frustrating when it comes to YouTube. Now, I have a fairly large subscriber count, and I say fairly large, it's large for me. I never thought I'd be here at 230 some thousand subscribers, but I am. I never thought I'd reach 100, but now I'm approaching 250. So a person of myself who never intended to be a YouTuber, to have this subscriber count, well, it's large for me, so I'm just gonna go with that. The old days though of YouTube, when you subscribe to someone's channel, no matter how many subscribers they had, whenever that channel put out a new video, every single subscriber got notified when they had a new video out. So for example, if I had 5,000 subscribers, I put out a new video, all 5,000 subscribers got notified that I had a new video. And that gave the chance of that video doing really well, because everyone knew, hey, there's something new to check out. Well, a number of years ago, YouTube made a change, and for me, it's one of the worst changes ever made, because it made what was almost a sure thing now a gamble. They introduced what is called the algorithm. The algorithm, basically, it sucks. So here's a breakdown of it. The algorithm works like this. When you put out a new video, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have now. You could have as little as 10,000 or millions of subscribers. Whenever you put out a new video, YouTube puts it out to a test audience. A test audience is broken down to part subscriber count, part non-subscriber count. For example, showing up on the recommended or suggested page. When that test audience sees your video, if they click on it and or watch it, or a combination of both, it gets shared to a wider test audience, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. If that initial test audience doesn't click or watch that video, it's kind of dead on arrival. It's doomed at that point. And that's troublesome, because I have people that subscribe to my channel for a number of different things. Some came from Knoebel's videos, railroad related videos, exploring abandoned places, Google finds, rail trails. I have subscribers from all over the place, but they all know what my channel is about. And obviously I don't expect every subscriber to watch every single video. That's not what it's about. What it's about though is the YouTube algorithm maybe not sharing that new video to the right audience. So if I put out a rail trail video and they show it to people who like Knoebel's or waterfalls or something like that, So they're most likely not going to click on the video and watch it. Now, new audience, non-subscribers, it's a 50-50 chance. But that test audience is crucial. And if it's shown to the wrong test audience or they choose not to watch it, that immediately kind of puts my video on a do not call list, so to speak. Because at that point, after the first 24 hours, your video is not going to continue to grow significantly more than it already has. There are exceptions though, not to get off topic, but if someone was to share your video in a social media group or a Facebook group or somewhere else with a large audience and they decide to watch it, that'll kind of kickstart the views again on that video. YouTube will start putting it out, suggesting it to new watchers. That has happened before, but it's not a guaranteed thing. But the algorithm just plain down sucks. But what I can tell you though is that with the low that I'm hitting right now, I know it's not just me, because I started questioning, what am I doing wrong? Is it bad titles? Is it bad thumbnails? Is it me? Is it my content? Maybe people just don't like it anymore. But I've noticed a good number of channels, some channels even 2, 3, 4 times the size of me, having difficulties right now with views. And I could tell you one particular channel, I'm not gonna name it, but they have close to 700,000 subscribers. They typically get at the bare minimum 30,000 views per video. This month alone, September, they've had 3 videos this month that have under 5,000 views. That's not normal for them. The videos I put out, with a few exceptions, at least over the winter, were getting over 30,000 views. Now a lot of them are getting under 10,000 views. Like I said, I'm grateful for every view I get, but if the views start going down, it's telling me something's wrong. It's either wrong with YouTube or wrong with me or both. So that's why I'm gonna be asking for your feedback. On the flip side though, I can tell you there are smaller channels that are doing phenomenally well, and I'm happy for them. But it doesn't help the situation though, because with me, I've changed my videos over the course of X amount of years. Like I said, I've taken things away, have changed things. I've been incorporating a lot more research, time and energy into my videos. If you couldn't already tell, I use a lot more map images, I'm doing a lot more research and giving you different views, perspectives, using different camera setups. I've been doing a lot more, putting a lot more into my content, because I always like to keep the content fun, entertaining, and if possible, informative. But at the very least, fun and entertaining. And I like to have you get more than you bargained for when you watch my videos. But not all channels are affected. There are some smaller channels though that have either half or quarter of the subscribers that I have, and every video they put out is getting 20, 25,000 views. Doesn't matter what they put out. Yes, it is different type of content. They do live in different areas, but how come they're not affected but the larger channels are? That's what's making me wonder what's going on. Is it a YouTube thing? Is it a me thing? So I'm wondering, is change necessary at this point? Do I need to change something? Is my content getting old and stale and stagnant? It's possible. People don't like the same thing forever, but that's why I do put in variety, to keep it fresh and not let you see the same thing over and over and over, which would be boring and repetitive. Right now, the way I do my videos, I'm in a really comfortable, I guess you could say, setting with my videos, where I do an intro, the whole come along with me, outro, see you in the next video. I give you context about the location. I share information and history and background. I share things on the spot, like, hey, check this out, look over here, look what we found. I'm used to doing that, I'm comfortable doing that. I like doing that because I shared before, I'll share it again. Generally, I'm a pretty shy, quiet person. Unless I know someone really well, I'm not a really talkative person. I actually suck at small talk. I don't mind being around people, but I just am not good with general conversation unless I really know someone or have something to talk about with someone. So this is kind of my outlet. I feel comfortable talking to the camera, which I feel like I'm talking to a person. That's why when I do my videos, so many people say, I feel like I'm there with you. That was never the plan. It just kind of happened on its own. I just started saying, hey, look over here, look what we found, or wait here, I'll go check that out. It just became natural, and I've been doing it. People seem to enjoy it. People who can't get out and do what I do, I guess you could say, live vicariously through some of my adventures because they have health or mobility issues, or they just don't have the locations like I have in their area. So they live to be able to do what they enjoy through the lens of someone else, but still feel like they are there with me. With that being said, I'm wondering, should I change it? Because if it's not working, well, I can't keep going if something isn't working. I've made changes before, and sometimes they're for the good, sometimes not for the good. More often than not though, the changes I've made have been beneficial. They've been necessary. They've been, I guess you could say, good to me because I feel better about those decisions. YouTube itself is like a roller coaster ride. You have highs and lows. And I've noticed trends over the years where the colder months, my channel typically does better, warmer months, not so much. But it's a small margin. It's not as great as it is right now. So what's frustrating is when I said about the other channels or smaller channels putting out videos, it doesn't really matter the time of year, they get the same amount of views nearly every video every time throughout the year. And like I said, I feel like I should be a veteran at this point, but now I feel like a newbie because, well, if I haven't figured it out yet, what am I doing wrong? So here's my choices. I could keep doing, there's actually Halloween decorations here at the coal mine tour. I could keep things the way they are, hopefully ride out the wave, so to speak, and hope that things are going to improve. But that's a gamble. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee when it comes to YouTube at all. There's no guarantee what you're going to make monthly. There's no guarantee how many subscribers you're going to grow to. There's no guarantee of how many views your videos will get. You can only kind of come up with a guesstimate based on the past. But I've been throwing curveballs before and I'm throwing one now. So if I choose to keep things the same, it may or may not work out. Something I can do differently, which I thought about maybe just experimenting with it, but I did want to run it by you guys because I do want to be transparent, is basically going a whole different route. And that means making my videos different than how they are now. And there's a big ugly guy behind me there. So here's what I could do differently, which may or may not help my videos in my channel. Right now, I generally make longer videos, on average, about 45 minutes in length, some shorter, some longer. Typically my Wednesday videos are under 20 minutes. Excuse me, most of my other videos on Mondays and Fridays are lengthier. And that's for two reasons. One is because people say they love longer videos. They want to be able to kick back and relax and watch something, kind of take their mind off the everyday life and enjoy something else for however long that is. I think my longest video though is like 2.5 hours of the old Pittston Hospital. And I have some shorter videos under 10 minutes, but generally 45 minutes is a sweet spot for me. Also, I said I make my videos as short as possible, but as long as necessary. A lot of the places I go to, they're multi-hour journeys. So I have to, not that I have to, but I want to incorporate the journey so you realize what I'm going through to make that video. It makes you feel like you are there with me. So a lot of videos, if I shorten it too much, it's going to be letting out a lot of the good stuff. But I know not everyone has the time or the attention span to watch a long video. That's why I say if you can't watch it in one sitting, just watch what you can, come back, pick up later. That's why I don't do multi-part videos. I've done multi-part videos and they've always performed poorly after the first video. So unless absolutely necessary, I won't do multi-part videos for long videos. If it's a long video and you can't watch it, come back and watch it when you can. But what I could do differently though is I could take away the intro, take away the outro, take away the over-explaining of things or explaining the obvious. Focus more on the location, give just some general context and some background, and more so let the video speak for itself. Doing that would shorten my videos by at minimum 10 minutes because some of my outros are 5 to 7 minutes long. The intros and information can be 5 to 7 minutes long. And although I do like explaining and talking during the videos, I know some people don't like that. Sometimes they say I talk too much. I admit it, I'm guilty of it. I do talk too much, mostly because I'm comfortable. But I realize that's not for everyone. So I can definitely dial back the talking. I can maybe add more music or just leave natural ambient sound. Make the videos anywhere between like 15 to 30 minutes and take away more of the personal aspect of it and make it more about the location. Do I want to do that? Yes and no. It would make my video recording and editing easier because it's less footage, but I feel like I'd be taking away what so many people love, is that's the personal touch of feeling like you're there with me. So I am torn on what to do because, like I said, what's happening now is not working. And if it's YouTube, well, maybe it'll fix itself. If it's not YouTube, I'm forced to fix it. And if what I'm doing isn't working, there's no point in banging your head on a door if it's not going to open. You need to go a different route. So I do want your feedback on what you think. I do know a lot of people are going to say, keep it the way it is. I like what you do the way it is. But if the videos are not getting watched, what's the point of putting all the extra effort into it? Adding the information, the maps, the overlays, the transitions, everything. What's the point of doing it if only a small percentage of people are going to watch it? Because like I said, the YouTube studio tells me right away how a video is performing. Based on the feedback of wanting abandoned exploration videos, the most recent one I did, although it's not abandoned, it was an exploration video of the old Marian Catholic Nativity School in Scranton. I made that a shorter video compared to the Pittston Hospital. I think this one was like 53 minutes in length. I explored the convent and the school, which had been shut down for over a decade. It was just like exploring an abandoned property. It just wasn't abandoned. I figured this is right up everyone's alley. This is what they've been asking for. The Pittston Hospital video did pretty well for the length of it. I figured this one would be a home run. I did a lot more transitions, some music inserts, some slow motion movements. I did a lot of work for that video on top of sharing the info and the back history. And the video flopped. It was ranking 10 out of 10 in the first couple hours. And there's nothing I could do to save that video. It is what it is. The one thing I can tell you for certain though is that some of the changes I made result in not asking anything from you. I used to have Patreon. I used to do live streams with super chats. I used to get donations. I've stopped all that. I don't even ask for you to like the video anymore. I don't ask for you to subscribe. I don't ask for anything other than your time. Time out of your day to watch my videos if it's something you want to watch. That's all I ask for. It's all I will continue to ask for. So I'm not on here asking for money. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not asking for anything other than your time to watch the videos. If you're not getting notified when new videos come out, physically go to my channel, click on videos, and see what's there, because the notification system does work, but it does have its flaws. There's been times I've gone to channels I'm subscribed to, and there's like 2 or 3 videos that I was never notified on. And that's just how it goes. So I do know some people don't get notified. The test audience may not get seen the right video, or the subscribers may not even be show the video because the test audience didn't like it. There's a number of factors that go into it. Like I said, the algorithm sucks. I wish it went back to the old days of the subscriber count, because the more subscribers you have, the more guaranteed your videos are to perform well because your subscribers are notified. Right now, you can have a channel of 5,000 subscribers getting more views than me, but there's also channels larger than me getting less views than me. It's really a crapshoot. So with that being said, check back on my channel. I usually put out videos every Monday and Friday with the occasional What Is It Wednesday video. And leave your feedback on what you think I should do. If you think I should experiment with a video or two with a different alternative video style, I could certainly do that. I may do that regardless of what the feedback is, just to see how I like it and to see what people do think after seeing it. But I definitely want to hear your feedback. Like I said, I don't like making videos like these, but I don't want to keep things from you if it is important to me and the channel. So hopefully you do appreciate the transparency, a little bit of a glimpse into my life and how things are working on the YouTube end with a content creator like myself. Hopefully one of these days I'll get it figured out. No, probably never will. But I can only keep trying to do my best, sharing content that I enjoy making, that I'm passionate about, and hopefully that you enjoy watching as well. Last thing I'll say is that I've used this before, this analogy, is that my channel is like a restaurant. So my JPVideos channel is the restaurant you would go to dine at. The menu with all the options is the different playlist or different video options, different content. If you go to a restaurant, whether you're there for the first time or it's your favorite restaurant, there's a chance you may order something that you don't like. Maybe it's undercooked, maybe it has a bad taste, maybe a bad smell. If you don't like it, most likely you're never going to order it again. But that doesn't mean you're not going to like anything else on the menu. So what I say is browse the menu, browse my channel, go through the different playlists, the different categories of videos. If you like something, watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But complaining about something that you don't like, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to make me or any content creator out there not want to make those videos. It's just not feasible. It's like me telling you what to do or what not to do. I have no control over it. It's your choice. You're your own person. I'm my own person. I make my own decisions. I know not everyone's going to like those decisions, but as a whole, I do feel good about them. And I will say, when it comes to a restaurant, most of the people at my channel do like the whole restaurant or the whole menu. But if you only like certain things, just choose to watch the certain things that you do like. And if something's not for you, just skip it until next time. It's the easiest thing you could do instead of complaining about it, because that's one thing I've heard about from so many content creators, is that people complain about certain types of videos. It doesn't change anything. It's not gonna make the video go away. It's not gonna make the person stop making those videos. You, as the viewer, have the ultimate choice to click on it and watch it. If you like it, I'm sure you'll come back and watch that type of video again. If you don't like it, it's only a few minutes of your time wasted. Anyways, I want to thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to my rambling here. Videos after this will be more what you're used to: fun, entertaining, informative, lighthearted, and back to doing what I love to do. But how I'm going to do them will depend on the feedback and what I ultimately do decide in the end. But any time that you do take out of your day to watch my channels, I greatly appreciate. And I was then keeping this video more raw and real. I'm flumbering and stumbling over my words a lot. This is what happens in real life. I'm not a great talker. I usually edit all that crap out, but I want to keep it real and genuine with you. So it's getting dark. I need to get going before I start getting looked at for being here after closing hours. But I am definitely looking forward to everyone's responses. And like I said, good, bad, indifferent, you are entitled to your opinion. But at the end of the day, I do have the final decision to make, and I won't make everyone happy, but at the end of the day, I want to be happy so that I can continue making videos for those of you who do want to watch them. So take care, everyone. Thanks again. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.